Hey
How you
Clay, how's it
doing?
going?
How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Thank you so much for doing this.
For sure, always.
Awesome. Our podcast is about you and your journey in music and how you got to where you are now, and we'll talk about the mixtape that you have coming out tomorrow, which is super
Definitely,
exciting.
for sure.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Where were you born and raised?
Memphis, Tennessee.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, yeah,
Are you still there now or no?
yeah. I'm actually. That's why I was a little late. I wanted to apologize for that too. I'm headed to LA for the release tonight.
Oh, awesome. That's
Yeah.
amazing. I won't keep you though. I was just talking to Deontay and telling her that we just moved to Nashville like 2 weeks
Oh
ago.
yeah,
So
for sure. Like
we just
probably
got
my
here.
entire project was probably recorded in Nashville.
Really? Okay, we'll
Yeah, I
talk
record
about that. That's
for sure.
awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so how did you get into music?
Um, I come from a musical background. When I was a kid, my family made me play the violin. They made me play the violin. So yeah, just from there, and just continuing forward as I got older, it was something that I was always interested in. So it just it stuck with me.
With the violin, how old were you when your parents made you do it?
Maybe like 6 or 7.
Wow. How
Yeah.
long did you keep it up for?
So that was about old enough to be like, hey, y'all tripping. You know what I'm saying? For real. Yeah.
So nothing you pursued up until now.
Yeah. No, not at all.
Okay. So from the violin, what was your next step musically?
Um, man, the violin, the saxophone, and then I ended up becoming an audio engineer. I had the studio that I recorded it, and I remember asking him like, man, I didn't have any money. You know what I'm saying? I
Mhm.
couldn't keep affording to pay for studio time, so I was trying to exchange becoming an engineer to be able to record for free. You know
Oh,
what I'm
okay.
saying? And
Yeah.
yeah, that was my plan. So of course that didn't last long. I was like, nah, I gotta get paid. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, from there I just I started recording other people, meeting people, and yeah, it got me to where I am now.
Wow. Okay. So were you just recording friends or other people that you met
Um,
doing shows and stuff?
so yeah, the studio that I worked at was like the studio in Memphis, like you know what I mean. So I met like a lot of my peers. I met Block Boy JB there. Tay Keith I met there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, for sure, and a lot of other people that are like doing major things from where we're from now.
Okay. And Take Keith is the one that kind of hooked you up, right? As far as
Yeah, I'm
putting.
signed to Tay Keith. Yeah,
Okay. So did you met him just through this studio?
yeah, through engineering.
Okay. And then he just liked what you're doing and said, "Hey, let's put a record out."
Yes, sir.
Oh my. Okay. And so once you sign with him, like what's aside from, helping fund your record and probably helping you record and produce it, like what did he do for you? Did you get to tour or once you put
Um,
out music on your own, like how did that go?
Yeah, so I recently just signed and during a very unfortunate time when Corona hit. So yeah, I'm kind of new to the label thing. From signing to Take Keith, they took me to Warner and they did a joint venture with Drumatized is the name of Take Keith's label and
Mhm.
Warner. So I'm kind of new to the major label thing. So I'm seeing how that's working, but it's been cool so far.
That is awesome. Okay, so you put a record out in 2017. That was all self done?
Everything up until 2020 was 100% independent.
Oh my gosh. So once you were so tell me about putting out that first record. That must have been a pretty big moment for you.
Yeah, yeah. I would say the project that got the most traction. NLE Chop was a good friend of mine. I was actually his engineer at one point as well. I had a project named It Could Have Been Different that had Chop on it. And from there, I think that was like 2019, early or like late 2018, early 2019. That's when I kind of started to see like, oh man, like people are liking this. You know what I'm saying? It's getting
Mhm.
traction. And yeah, for the
Well,
most part.
yeah, well, Crucifix did well too, didn't it?
It did very well.
Uh-huh. And
Yeah.
that came out or before that one, right? Before it could have
Yep.
been different.
Yep. Like late 2018.
Okay. So when did you see the ball start rolling for you? Like cuz you had a few records out prior to those albums we were just talking about. Like
I
did
would
you
say
see some like were you playing shows and start seeing shows get bigger as you kept releasing music? Like how did the progression work?
Yeah, I would say personally, like maybe 2018 is when I realized, like, oh man, I can get paid from this. Like, this is, you know what I'm saying? This is real life. And then 2019 is when I saw things like it was tangible, like statistically speaking, you know what I mean? I'm seeing numbers, you know, I'm having people reach out like, hey man, like I'm really loving this. Like I have people that hit me up like, man, your music changed my life and all of that
Wow.
good stuff. So yeah, for sure.
Wow, that must have been pretty validating, I would think, right? Once you see
Still
these,
is.
yeah, see people
Yeah,
really kind of going like, dude, this is dope. I really, really relate to these songs, and that I'm sure that's what it's all about when it comes down
definitely.
to it.
Definitely.
Wow. Okay. So you were working with Tay Keith, and that's he ended up signing you to the label. Did he know about you prior to you working in that studio?
Yeah, of course. You know, we're all from Memphis. I've known about Tay Keith since like maybe like 2013, 2012. I'm 24, so man, that's 8 years ago. I'm 16. You know, let's do the math over. I'm 16. So yeah, I met Tay Keith for the first time maybe like 2016 at the studio that I was working at in person. But we had communicated like via like Facebook and
Uh-huh.
you know, Instagram, et cetera, et cetera. And yeah, it's just, you know, for sure.
That's cool. That's cool. So you knew him. He kind of knew who you were
For
when you were
sure.
that young, 16. Were you performing? Like when did you first start performing?
I started doing shows maybe around like I was 18, 19.
Okay.
Memphis is like really, you know, we're late to the party. You know what I mean? Like there's not really much going on. And, you know, over the course of like the last few years, maybe like 2018, 2019, people have been, you know, more open to bringing their shows here. And, you know what I'm saying? It really started with Look Alive, with Block, Drake, and Tay Keith. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
after that is when people were like, man, we've got to go see what's in Memphis. Like what's going on? We're missing out on it. But prior to that, it wasn't much going on.
Oh, okay. Wow. I didn't realize that. Okay. So
Right.
2018, 2019, that's when things start going for you as well at that point.
But
So talk to me about, you signed this deal and where were like when that all like chronologically, how did that fall with COVID and everything? Was that a deal that was done prior to the pandemic and everything hitting? And how did that kind of affect everything
it
else from
it
there
was
on out?
really kind of spare the moment. I of course we had been talking about it for so long,
Mhm.
but it was I won't say that it was. Yeah, I'll be honest. It was something that I never saw myself doing. I never wanted to sign, period, because like I was just so used to, you know, not to sound like a control freak, but being in control of everything. Like I know what the
Right.
studio time costs, I know what the beats cost, I know what the video costs, and I was 100% comfortable with that. And I didn't want anybody else to be in control of it. But when it
Sure.
came to the Tay Keith situation, this is somebody that I'm familiar with. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
This is somebody who's been expressing that interest, you know what I'm saying, for so long. Like it just made sense, you know what I mean? And everything in the contract made sense too. So it was a win-win.
Okay. And then did that happen like what was that before COVID?
No, no, it was
Oh, it was
Corona,
during. Oh, wow.
Corona,
Oh,
Corona, Corona.
okay.
For
Okay, so
sure.
where were you at when Corona hit? Like what record
Um,
was that? Was that when you had it could have been different out and then you had a record after that too, right? Too
yep,
sad for
yep.
tomorrow?
The biggest song that I had out at the time is still even to this day is Damn featuring
Mhm.
Lil Migo. It went viral like TikTok, you know what I mean? Triller picked
Wow.
up. Yeah, that's the biggest song that I've had.
Did you see like tell me about seeing that happen like on TikTok? Were you like, whoa, like did you wake up one morning and it just like
Yeah,
I don't know, notifications going crazy or something like
yeah,
that?
it was kind of surreal. It was like because especially I was really new to TikTok too, so like I didn't even really understand what was happening. But
Mhm.
like the song literally goes down, 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 down. So like you had like little kids posting, old people. Like it's really cool to see. Still happening to this day. It's really cool to see.
That is awesome. And then is that what kind of drew attention from like labels and stuff? Was they're seeing like traction on that song?
Yeah, they were already kind of interested, but I think that definitely kind of put a push on it.
Okay. Okay. And so you put out two records in 2019 and then COVID hits. Like did you have a chance to like really like let those records breathe at all, or were you able to like tour at all or perform them like quite a bit, or that kind of just threw a wrench in everything?
Nothing. It was nothing. I
Oh my gosh.
as an engineer, I was blessed to be able to go on the Trippie Redd tour, the Love Me More tour with Block. Block Boy was an opener on the tour. So like that was probably the first tour that I've ever been on personally, and seeing how that worked, that was really nice. But as an artist, I wasn't there as an artist, but it was still really cool to see.
That is cool. Like what were you able to pick up? Like you probably got really familiar with how it all works. So once everything opens up again and you tour, you'll be able to kind of, I'm sure it definitely gave you like a, almost like a little internship, so to speak, in touring.
Exactly.
That's awesome. So talk to me about this new record, this mixtape, and you said you recorded it in Nashville.
Yeah. At one point when I was traveling to Nashville, I couldn't find a studio. I remember being in a grocery store one time in Nashville. I was probably like a Kroger, and this guy overheard me like, "Man, we gotta find a studio." And he was like, "Man, I have a studio in my backyard." I was like, "Man, you ain't got no studio in your backyard." Like real tall, like old guy. He was like, "I got a studio." So I was like, "All right, for sure." So we end up following him to his house, not knowing that this guy's a serial killer. We don't know what he's on. And we get there, and he has a full-fledged studio in his backyard. And every time I'm in Nashville, I just record at his house.
Wow.
For sure.
So this guy, you just met him in a grocery store, and he ends up you're able to use his studio. And did you have like a producer with you or engineer with you, or was this guy helping you with the record too?
No, I record myself 100%.
Oh wow, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I'm my own engineer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So with the beat, so you'll just get so talk me through like the process of recording a song then. That must be difficult.
I also, not to sound cliche, because it's almost cliche at this point, but I don't write anything. I punch in, if that makes any sense. And when it comes to like production or beats, most of my close friends are producers, so they're always there with me.
Okay, so you'll have they'll provide the beat, and then you just you'll do your thing on top of it.
Yes, sir.
Over it. Okay, that's still rad though. Wow. So what was there a decision or a reason why you didn't decide to record the record at the studio you were doing the other ones at in the past in Memphis?
At the time, Tay Keith and the co-CEO of Drumatized, Cambrian Strong, they were both living in Nashville. So it was like a median. So I'm in Memphis, they're in Nashville. It just made sense for me to come out there where they're at, just, and, at the time we weren't able to find a studio, but that got solved quickly,
Okay. And with this, like, so you get signed to a major label. I mean, you were talking about how you that wasn't even like really in the cards for you, but you signed to this major label. What, like, do they say, let's put a record out now? Like what was the first thing that they kind of helped you do, or what did they provide for you right away?
So the project that's about to come out has actually been done since 2019.
Oh, wow.
Really like mid 2020, you know what I mean? But I really didn't want to put any music out during Corona, just for the simple fact of me not knowing where things were going to go. Like I couldn't really, you know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, I couldn't see the future. So now it's starting to see like, it's starting to seem like, things might open back up really soon. You know what I mean? So I just didn't want to waste any time or waste any music either. So yeah, they were really just waiting on the perfect time to put it out. It's been done for, I can't tell you how long.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I was wondering about, so you had already met this guy in Nashville and did this record. This is all prior to even signing it.
Facts.
You were able to just kind of provide the songs, like, hey, here's all the tracks.
I was ready from the jump.
Yeah, let's do this.
Facts.
Oh man. Okay. So now that you have all these songs done, like, what have you been working on? New songs? Like, what have you been up to since the virus hit and you haven't been able to release?
The only thing that I do day to day is just record music. Like I'm headed to LA right now, to of course celebrate the release, but I'm going straight to the studio upon touching down. Like I don't do anything else. Like that's all I do. All I care about is music. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And just recording your own songs or recording other people?
Just record myself.
Wow. Yeah, you must like you crank through songs, man. I've been looking at your Spotify. It's like you'll put out 2 records a year.
Man, I probably would have done more than that if I had more time.
I know. Like
Seriously,
wow. That's so I'm sure you've got loads of material ready.
for sure. Locked and loaded.
Wow. Okay. And is it hard to like sit on that and not put it out to the world? Like,
Man, that's been the most challenging thing with the project that's about to come out, because it's like I still feel the way that I felt when I made the music, because to me, you know what I mean, it's not like it's just fly by music. It's really timeless to me, and I hope that the people listening to it feel the same way. But I can't lie, like I just, I've made harder music since then, so it's like, man, I'm ready to put this out and get to the next project, like, you know what I mean.
yeah. It's like I always talk to artists about that, especially now, like right now with the times. It's like you have these artists like you yourself, you write these records, you have something ready, or you're planning, okay, it's going to come out, and this is 2019 at the time, it's going to come out on March 20th of 2020, and then we're going to tour it in, April, May, June, or whatever. And then now these artists are like, okay, well now what? I can't tour the record. It's not album tour.
Right.
And how do we go about this? By the time we're going to be able to tour, I'm going to have another record ready. And then are these other songs going to be old? Like, I'm sure that must be a dilemma. And like, how do you just have to just sit there on your hands and wait?
That's it. Literally, like there's literally nothing else to do. Like I heard about some festivals coming up, hopefully, with the world what's going on, but for the most part, I haven't really heard about anything. Like,
yeah, I just saw, speaking of which, I just saw that Outside Lands San Francisco is doing their thing in like I think it's on Halloween weekend or something.
Yeah,
maybe
I hope
year.
It happens.
Yeah, and they added a bunch of new I mean, people had to drop off and stuff because of that. I just saw they added 24 karat gold or 24K gold and like a few other people that weren't on the lineup prior, but it's interesting, with the whole festival thing and how that's really going to unfold. I mean, that's like 100,000 people in one area.
Yeah. Hopefully by then, the at least 80%, maybe even less, but the population will be vaccinated. They'll probably be a little more lenient.
Yeah, that's true, definitely. So the song that you released earlier this month was Not My Fault, and that will be on the mixtape.
Yeah.
Was that a choice of yours? Like, why did you go with that one as like the lead for the mixtape?
It gave me a feeling, and it's kind of like a staple song. Like I'm literally telling you, like, it was a lot of things that, of course I had the normal Black experience, you know what I'm saying? So I'm telling you, like, it was a lot of things that I saw growing up, and it wasn't my fault, literally, you know what I mean? I wish I could have not seen it, but unfortunately, just what it is. So that, and then For the Day I Go. And that was the first song that in the entire 2020, to my knowledge, I don't think we released anything like on platforms. So For the Day I Go was like the first song for me coming back off of, I wouldn't say a hiatus, but a hiatus, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, it's like they're both
interesting.
Just,
okay, so you didn't release anything there just because you were just waiting.
Nothing. I think we dropped a few videos, but like project wise and putting things on platforms, nothing.
Wow. Okay.
Facts.
Were you able to do any videos over the course of the past year, or?
Yeah.
No?
We had we shot For the Day I Go. We shot Not My Fault. There's another song that's on the project, Retrograde. And then a couple of other videos that were just kind of like me putting those out so it doesn't look like I just fell off the face of the earth and stopped recording music.
Sure. Yeah. Trying to stay up. Yeah, no, I get it. With those videos, was it difficult to do them with like the parameters of COVID and all that, or?
Somewhat. A few of the locations, they were like, it can only be a certain amount of people, and that was really difficult because we'll have film crews, we'll have people like the label wanted to be there, like Take Keith and a lot of other people from Drumatized, and they couldn't come. You know what I mean? Or like even I remember one of the videos, they were like, "Man, you got to have a mask on." Like, I got to have a mask on while rapping a song
in the video. Yeah.
Like, are you crazy? Like, come on, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah. So did they give you, I'm sure like you had done videos prior though to signing. So they probably kind of knew that you obviously knew what you were doing
For
in
sure.
that sense. So that's cool.
Definitely.
I'm sure did they give you some pretty much free reign of what you wanted to do, or how did that work?
Yeah. When it comes to videos, especially now, I've been shooting with this guy named Ben Sherrill, and he's from Nashville, and he's a very talented guy. So for the most part, my most recent videos, he's been like the lead of, hey, it's gonna go like this, and I've yet to feel any indifferent to how he feels. Like he has an amazing vision, and I have another personal friend of mine named Zach Hurth. He shoots most of my videos as well, and I've always felt the same way about him as well.
That's awesome. That's cool that you have a good team around you and people
sure.
that you can trust for sure. Especially, yeah, that's awesome. So you have a party, or you're doing like a release party tonight?
Nah, I
like
probably
just celebration kind of thing.
Yeah, just the guys from Drumatized, and man, go to sleep.
There you go. There you go. Do you do any like the live streaming things like on Instagram or Facebook or anything like that?
We've been having conversations about it. I'm trying to see if I can do something like via Clubhouse. I saw a friend of mine, Duke Deuce, who signed to Quality Control. I saw him do like a listening party on Clubhouse. So I contemplated like kind of doing that. So people, you know what I mean? If you're familiar with the platform, you could tune in and, you know.
That's cool. Yeah, I think people would enjoy that. And especially if you're there. And what I think is cool, like, it's not cool that we're all stuck in here, but the one cool thing is that like you're in your house, like, you know, you can see like a behind the curtain look to your favorite artist. And in a sense too, like, you know, I've seen it where they can ask questions, you know, fans can ask questions, you can respond to like, that's got to be really, really cool for, you know, fans and stuff to be able to like, oh my God, I was able to like ask him a question and, you know, he's really there and responded. And it's not like something where it's like a chat room where it's like really like, it's probably not even him sitting there. Like they can see
like it doesn't
like, you
feel
know,
organic. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's totally a more organic, like behind the curtain look to everything that's happening. And especially in your life, I think that's so cool. And it's so cool that, you know, you guys are down to show, you know, that side of it.
No, of course. That's the most important part. I tell people all of the time, like I was when I was like 15, 16 years old, I was a huge fan of Wiz Khalifa, you know, for the music, but more so for the part that he literally made you feel like he was a part of his life, like from the day-to-days, the YouTube stuff. Like I used to eat my food and not watch TV and watch Wiz Khalifa. Like I'm trying to be that type of artist. Like I really want people to feel like, man, I'm a part of what's going on.
I love that. I think that's so rad. I love that. And thank you so much, Clay, for doing this. I know you got to jump on a plane, man. I really appreciate it. I have one more question for you. I wanted to know if you have any advice for aspiring artists.
I'm going to tell you what a good friend told me. Rule number 1, don't go broke. Rule number 2, don't forget rule number 1.
That's the best advice I've heard. I've done over 500 of these. That was amazing.